Hey there, welcome to a new episode of the Art Chains podcast. Here we talk about art, NFTs, and music on the blockchain. Together, we explore how artists, musicians, and content creators can promote their work and earn in the Web3 space. Thank you so much for joining us and have a nice listen. Alrighty, GM everybody. It's another episode of Art Chains Community Spaces, and we are here to discuss what's going on in the art space, mostly on Tezos, but not only. We are here to discuss how to build a community, how to build your better brand, and not to hurt yourself until the moment where you cannot do anything, which is super important in this oversaturated world. I believe so. My name is Amir. We also have Ian, our co-host, one of the best people in the Tezos community and in this world in general. We also have Mazi, we have Kryptonite, we have Rohit, Chris, ID Artist, and HP. So yeah, guys, another week, another incredible things are happening on Tezos ecosystem. I'm about to pin something really huge on top of the space right now, trying to find this. Yeah, I think this one is the post that I'm looking for. So one of the biggest sales in my, I think it's the biggest sale in my Tezos journey. I mean, in Tezos, in Tezos art in general. It happened a couple of days ago, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. So, 43,000 XCZ, which means 22.854 22, almost 23,000 United States dollars for a piece of art on object, which is incredible. The artist who sold this piece is his name is Mario Klingemann, and the owner is Antagonist Forever. So it's something that really I never witnessed it yet because I'm here on the Tesla space for almost 3 years and I never saw such a sale. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free. So it's something I'm not sure if that's a game changer or not. I'm not sure if that's something that will, that will drive more people into the Tezos art and all of those over expectations. But I never think in those categories because I think that I strongly believe that things should happen organically. And this sale is a cool thing, but we definitely should not over focus on that. We should not, feel like we're like over promised or something like that. Over expectations is not the thing. I believe that we have a lot of things to add on the Tezos ecosystem. We have a lot of things to improve on the art market, and yeah, especially on the art market on chain. So yeah, let's get some inspiration from that. It's a cool thing to happen, but yeah, let's focus on what we're building, what we're doing, and yeah, on the things that are long term, let's say like that. What else happened? Ion, are you here or you still need some time?
I'm here, man. I'm just trying to switch from phone to laptop to phone, so we'll be
Nice.
bouncing around a few times. But yeah, that sale was really cool, man. Like honestly, I'm not an artist. I don't know much about yeah, I don't know much about that. But I think one of the main like points that I get from outsiders about uh, art on Tezos, like, oh, it's super cheap. It's super cheap. That's why I never mint there because I don't want to make however many dollars. And this is like the easiest explanation of you mint and list for whatever price you want. Right? If it's selling for cheap, then I really don't want to say this, but it's on you. Um, but yeah, man, crazy big sale. Um, I don't know what the context is or the history or anything, but I will do a deep dive. That's it's a really cool thing, man.
My bad. I don't know what's the context behind this piece and this collection, but I think that it's actually not new. Um, It's I need to do a research or probably even do a deep research and then write a thread about it on our chains, because I think that it would be valuable for our people, for our community, for artists from all the chains, not only from Tezos, but for Tezos especially, for sure. So if we can understand deeper what happened and why this piece had such a sale. Retro, by the way, if you are here, if you're around, please feel free to request to speak, and let's discuss this huge sale on Tezos and many other things. Always happy to have you as a speaker. And all the rest, guys, please don't hesitate to request to speak. It's a pretty free flow space. We don't have any specific topic. We're trying to stick to community building and personal brands for artists in the Web3 to these topics. And mostly we're discussing Tezos. But again, I'm saying that all the time, not only because, I believe that if we will be open minded for many mediums, chains, and topics and discussions, we will make the whole space better and the Tesla space wider. Let's say like that, because yeah, yeah. Having Tesla's community as a core community is the best thing ever, and we can expand with that engine. So, what else just happened? Also, we posted a thread with the pieces that we collected from our art sharing post. Please check this out. Incredible collection, in my opinion. Incredible pieces that we added to our collection. I'm super proud of that. This first one by Atiko is just truly incredible. Something, I don't know. It's insanely beautiful, and you will find a lot of incredible piece in that curation. So please check this thread out, scroll through it, try to find maybe your artworks, and save those that you would like to buy for later. So, what else happened in the Tezos ecosystem? Let me check. Let's scroll through the updates and news. What was there? Oh yeah, yeah. I wanted to discuss this quickly. We saw a museums and digital art conference by Art Meta Official. It happened 2 days ago, and yeah, we saw a pretty cool IRL event. And what I really enjoy last, I guess, year and a half or around that is that Tezos people, Tezos entities are super active in the IRL space, which is super important. And I don't remember if we had that before, like a couple of years ago. But lately, we see a lot of activity in Art Basel, Miami, in France, in England, everywhere, even here in Balkans, in Belgrade, and in so many places. I really enjoy the fact that Tezos people, Tezos entities, and Tezos brands are hustling hard. It's super cool because more people are understanding the value of this chain and of its art space, which is huge in my opinion. Again, you can find a lot of cool things, but in my opinion, again, just like I'm saying all constantly, Tezos is probably one of the best chains to onboard new creators because of its stability, speed, and just cheap gas fees. I'm kind of, it sounds like shilling, but that's what I genuinely believe. That's why I genuinely hear, and that's why I'm keep on doing that, because it's a lot of joy and not much of effort and spending. So yeah, that's it about what I wanted to share from the Tezos world. Also wanted to highlight and remind you that we successfully completed this state Ardon Stadium initiative a while ago, like almost, it's already 9 days ago. And now we are together with Aris Limassol Football Club. We are working hard, to get this initiative, to spread the word to media, to crypto medias, to traditional medias, to sport medias, and it would be super cool if our artists, if our people will be highlighted in some outlets, in some newspapers, some magazines, or online blogs and stuff like that. So yeah, we're trying hard. Please stay tuned to our updates, and Yeah, I hope that soon I will get back to you with more cool and awesome, inspiring news. Also, next week, I'm planning to have a call with Aris Limassol again with the football club to discuss with them what we can do, what more initiatives and cool contests, maybe opportunities we can create for digital artists, for digital creators, and how can we combine that with football, with stadiums, with football fans, and how can we spread the word wider out from outside of our Twitter bubble. So yeah, stay tuned, and stay tuned again because we are trying hard. We're building, we're grinding, and we're trying to bring you to as many people as possible. One more thing before we will move to Ion. I wanted to remind you guys, please check out the pinned tweet on the Jumbotron. I wanted to remind you that we also have a podcast. We are recording our spaces and we are arranging podcasts out of them. We're editing, we're doing them, more listenable. And our podcast is available on Spotify, on Apple Music, on Amazon Music, and all the digital streaming platforms, plus on YouTube. So please check this out. Make sure that you go and follow and like and listen to our podcast because this is how we can also spread the word about the Tezos, the blockchain ecosystem, the on-chain art, on-chain artists, and all the stuff that we're doing here all together. So please support us on this early stage of building the podcast by liking, sharing, maybe following and saving. So every single action that you do is super valuable because this is how we are showing to the algorithms that we are cool, we are interesting, and people have to listen to us. Thanks for that, guys. And yeah, I am double check if you're back or you still need some time.
I am finally back. Yeah, some big developments on the art side. Obviously, we have Tez Dev coming up in about what 10 days time, around 2 weeks ish, let's say. And yeah, man, the community keeps growing. Trailblazers are blazing the trail, and the spaces are happening.
About Tez Dev, that was the topic I wanted to at least quickly discuss. Tez Dev. What we should expect from Tez Dev? Where is it happening? Like, what's up? What's the agenda? And what is Tez Dev actually? Because I believe that many people maybe have heard about it, but probably don't know. So if you could explain us what is Tez Dev and why we should keep an eye on it or even attend, please let us know. I would be grateful.
Yeah, one sec. Let me just grab the tweet so I can not spread misinformation by accident.
We also have Chris, by the way. So DM and test up, Chris. How are you doing? And what you tell us what you got for us on Tez Dev.
Hello. Yeah, so I'm also on the Safari browser, so I don't know how long how long it's going to last. I think I'm allowed to say that I'm doing a baking workshop at Tez Dev. I don't know when I'm doing it, but I'm doing a demonstration of how to set up a baker on one of our test nets, and I'll talk a little bit about key management as well. But we're hoping to give everyone a VM that attends in my session. That is, we've probably only got spaces for about 20 people, but we're hoping to give everyone a VM and they'll be able to follow along with the process and set a baker up in about 30 minutes. So looking forward to that. But yeah, there's a program. If you go to tezos.com/tezdev, you'll find the program there. So there's a lot of stuff advertised, and I think they're finalising some of the workshop stuff still. But stop me if you don't want me to go on. But I think in the morning we've got a couple of sessions on Etherlink, scaling up, and then we have a session on RISC-V, which is going to be the new way of doing roll-up code. And then we've got a panel on DeFi on Etherlink, and then Arthur's going to give a keynote, and then there's a fireside chat with him, and it goes on till I think 6:30. We've got an arts panel at the end of the day as well. Looking forward to that. So yeah, all the speakers and talks are on the website at the moment.
I was just about to steal the agenda and kind of repurpose it as my own and take full credit for that. But you you beat me to it, and you said where they can find information. So,
well, you know, I'm good at some things.
I actually really want to attend the baking workshop because I've always wanted to start a baker. We've spoken about this in the office multiple times, but I don't know much about like the technical side of things, and I think my main goal here is like if I can learn it, so can you, which is a very funny angle. So yeah, I will be there. Probably record a bunch of the things if it's not recorded, and try to repurpose it into some sort of community initiative where we can get people trying it out at least.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah. I mean, just to say, Kevin Marabi won't mind me saying, but Kevin Marabi did it live on video, and I talked him through it. So if Kevin can do it, then anyone can. The big obstacle is Linux system administration. That's the thing. If you're not used to that, then it can be a little bit weird at first.
Yeah, it's the first time I heard of it. So
so it's not that difficult, and we have a way of showing people what to do, or you can buddy up with someone else in the room. That's everything you can do.
Yes, sir. Amir, any experience in baking? Any idea about baking? Anything that ever came to mind when it comes to that? I noticed that there isn't much overlap between like artists or people who enjoy DeFi or people who like are just general Tezos users. It's almost like baking is this sacred thing, and only the people that fully commit to it are doing it, which is very interesting. Do you have experience? I mean, obviously you've been in the space for a while. Have you ever thought of that? Have you kind of ever reached the point where you're like, yep, I see the benefits and I want to do this?
The only thing I ever baked in my life is frozen pizza.
Let me guess, you burnt it.
Sorry?
Did you burn it?
No. I'm good. I'm good on that. You know, if you have a frozen pizza and you need to bake it, you know who to call, and you know who will do the job perfectly. So it will cost you only $10 per 20 minutes. So it's my services are not super cheap, but it's still affordable. This is it. So yeah, can you guys explain in a super short way to artists, for example, who would like to earn additional XTZ, I mean money, from baking? If that's the case, how can they do that? Is that even possible? And yeah, where to learn? And you know, maybe you know some super basic stuff that maybe we missed from your previous conversation or and structured for noobs.
Do you want me to take that one?
Yes, please.
So, if you want to set a baker up, you need about 6,000, 7,000 Tez roughly, of which you need a minimum stake, I think, of 6,000. And you need a machine to run it on. And that machine isn't particularly powerful. You can use a PC, 16 gig of RAM, fast disk. But of course, now what you can do is you can stake. So you don't have to run a baker. You can stake with another baker, and you will get the rewards. So you don't really need to run a baker if you're a user. You can stake. But if you do want to run a baker, you've obviously got to spend a bit of time looking after a machine and making sure it keeps running and protecting your keys from being stolen and things like that. So there's quite a lot in it. Now I'm going to TezCon next weekend, and I'll be talking to artists. If you're an artist on Tezos, you don't have to know how bakers work at all. You just need to know that they're the things that produce the blocks. And art is a great example of where you don't have to understand the underlying technology to be able to use the chain.
Yeah, I mean, we speak about this a lot in this space specifically of like letting people just do what they're good at and focus on that and not necessarily care about like all the fluff. And the biggest pain point we're seeing is a lot of artists are great at making art, but don't really want to learn what it takes to market art and like kind of do all of the fluff that comes with selling, right? And I think, I think I'm a big believer in like if you are good at something, do that one specific thing and kind of have like more people doing the other things that you have to do but you're not necessarily the best at, obviously within reason, so don't just like fully delegate everything and try not to learn. But yeah, I think with staking getting involved now and like with kind of the advancements that we're seeing there, it's definitely not a necessity, but it's one of those things where when I first joined, it's like what, 9 months ago now, it was very unique, even if it's just within the kind of semantics of it, like, oh, this is baking, instead of saying we're validating or whatever the kind of standard wording is. But it's a very cool thing to kind of hear, right? Like, oh, he's baking. Like, what does that even mean, right? And hence the idea of Tezos breakfast clubs came about, and trying to kind of bridge that gap where people at least understand what it is, and if they ever want to do a deep dive on the technology and understand that, then that's lovely. But yeah, realistically, I don't think you need to learn about baking, but it's one of those cool things about our ecosystem that makes us kind of unique, and I think it's really cool for you to just know what's happening in the overall Tezos ecosystem.
If you're going to build, if you're going to build an art website like object.com or something like that, then obviously you do need to know a bit more about it. But those art sites that we have on Tezos, Object's just one of them. They're really good and they're really easy for users to get going, and that's the important thing.
A little bit of an off top, and thanks so much, guys, for sharing the details of baking and actually staking, which is cool. I'm staking on my personal account on Tezos, and now I'm getting rewards daily. I guess they are coming from staking, which is super cool. And it's a great way, to save your XTZ, because not saying ecstasy, come on, I'm saying XTZ. I think that this is how you can really save them, because to unstake them you need approximately, I guess, 11 days. Is that correct, Iron?
No, not anymore. Yeah, not anymore. It's the cycle time has changed to a day.
So yeah, this is where I'm hiding my own Tezos from myself, because if I would not do that, I would spend all of them immediately on your guys' art. So yeah, but sometimes I just need, to have some pillow, let's say. And meanwhile, yeah, I said off top. We have a question which is important to highlight, in my opinion. It's in a comment from PX Alien Coder. They are asking, we're building on object at the moment. It's really cool for those creatives who wish to create collections step by step, rather than upload the whole collection in one go. Have not tried any other marketplaces on Tezos. Any recommendations? And I would like to ask Ion, Chris, and maybe Mazi, because I'm not educated enough about other blockchain marketplaces on Tezos. I tried Teia a while ago, probably once, and never minted there, and also FX Hash, where I also just collected. So, guys, which marketplaces on Tezos you would recommend and why?
I obviously I'd recommend all of them because Taya is interesting because they've just done something with rights, so that you can keep your usage rights as an artist. So you can mint your CD or music, and you can still keep the usage rights yet sell it on. So that's an interesting feature to look at.
Retro, I bet that you have a great answer for that question. And GM.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Okay, so I'm not sure if you know about minting on chain with zero contract. Have you heard of that?
I've heard about that, but I'm not sure if I'm still not sure if I understand what this exactly is.
Yeah, sure. I'll explain it. So, minting on chain, firstly, was create the contract, which is called zero contract, was created by Yestem Zero. And for more information, you can just follow his account. It's Yestem, but with a J, Jestem Zero. And he's been doing on-chain artwork across different chains, but he wanted to create his collection on Tezos, and there wasn't a way for him to easily mint his personal collection, his personal pieces, not using something like 8BDO or something like that, but just his own custom artwork. He didn't see a way to mint directly on chain, so he created the zero contract. And what that does is it essentially, instead of using IPFS, like when you mint on Object or on Taya, where the artwork is pinned on IPFS and actually you're minting the token for the artwork that's attached to the artwork, but not the actual artwork. So the artwork itself doesn't exist on chain. With the zero contract, the actual artwork exists on chain in the form of code. Which I won't get too technical, but essentially there's numbers that when the browser interprets it, it can view the actual image, and those are actually written into a block on the Tezos blockchain. And so that's what the zero contract does. And since then, originally when we first started using it, we had to use Better Call Dev to launch the contract and then create everything and then actually do everything very manually. But now someone called Jams to Blues, James Lees, and his account is Jams to Blues. He created an app for the zero contract that you can actually go on and just there's a front end that you can use to mint the on-chain artwork. So you upload your artwork. At the moment, it had to be limited to 20 kilobytes. You could push it a little bit further, but that's because that's the limit of the block that you're minting on, as far as I know. So you couldn't mint anything larger than that. However, Yestem is now very close to launching the next version of the contract, which has no upper limit for the size you can mint using some magic. I'm not sure how it does it, but it essentially links the blocks together somehow. So you mint on there, and it also is going to allow you to be able to edit what you create as well, and actually burn what you create. So you don't burn by sending your artwork to an address. It actually, you can delete it, essentially, from what I can tell. So that's going to be the next iteration of that contract, and I believe it's going to continue to exist through the zero app market minting app, but there's going to be a marketplace attached to that. At the moment, I think there's one called Zero. I think it's called Zero Terminal. I haven't used it much, but that's kind of like a marketplace as well, which was created by another artist called C Cube. But there's a whole scene going on anyway with on-chain artwork, and you can ask me about it. We have a DM group, so you can come and join if you want to know more about it, because I'm sure with anything new, it's kind of you're a bit wary about it. You want to kind of go to the places that you trust, like Object and Taya. But it's the whole zero contract thing, and on-chain artwork on Tezos is really gaining a lot of traction. We've got over 100 people in the DM group now. Tons of artwork has already been minted. It's visible on Object, but also it's not limited to Object. It's not limited to only being able to see it on a marketplace. You can actually see the artwork anywhere. It can be rendered anywhere directly from the blockchain. So it's really actually quite a powerful thing. So yeah, I just wanted to come and talk about that. And I can try and answer any questions if you've got any.
So zero contract is something similar to the inscriptions on blockchain. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh my God, on Bitcoin, sorry.
Yes. So as far as I know, I'm not an expert with Bitcoin, but as far as I know, it's not the same as ordinals, because ordinals I don't think is directly, it's not written to the blockchain in the same way. It's more similar to something called Bitcoin stamps, if anyone knows about that. And there's people far more educated on it, but from the people I've spoke to, it is Malicious Sheep and Santiago Itzcoatl, who know quite a bit about ordinals and stamps. They've said that the zero contract is much better than ordinals in terms of its and the way it writes to the blockchain. I'm not saying Tezos is better than Bitcoin, nothing like that. I'm just saying the way it mints the artwork on chain is far better. The way the zero contract does it. It lives directly on the blockchain. And the exciting thing about the new contract is, and I've been testing it when it gets released, I'm not sure, but I've been testing it, and as the artist who originally mints, you can actually change and edit your mints up until they're collected by somebody else. So the moment they get owned by somebody else, it cannot be edited or changed or anything. But before that, you can change it. I've tested out actually swapping out the artwork. So if you, let's say, mint a 20 kilobyte image, and then you want to, and it will cost you, so that you have to pay the gas for that. It's around about 6 Tezos. If you want to swap that because you realize you minted the wrong piece, you can swap it out, and it doesn't actually cost you anything really extra because you've already paid for that space. You can change the title, you can change the description, and it's insane. It's completely, for me anyway, is game changing. So I think everyone should be really excited about the zero contract on Tezos, and I think it's moving in an amazing direction.
Yeah, that's really sick and really interesting and really important, especially after 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 marketplace is crashing. You know, when we saw like art pieces are just disappearing because the marketplace just cannot run their servers, and you know their PFS. I don't know how it works, but you know, I believe that marketplaces actually own your images. They don't own your smart contracts, but they own your. They are saving your images on their servers. That's how I feel that. That's how I think it works. But yeah, I think it was about, if I'm not mistaken, it was about Maker's Place. Is that correct? Retro. So they stopped working and all the art pieces were like just went away, or was it another marketplace? Please remind me.
There has been a few. I'm not sure about the ins and outs of how it worked. I couldn't comment on that. But yes, you're right in terms of there's anything minted with zero contract will survive as long as Tezos survives. That's basically it. It's not down to, I mean, even if the zero app stopped working, or if let's say the marketplace that I know they're working on a marketplace that suddenly stopped working, it actually doesn't stop you from being able to mint, because as long as you've got the contract, you can still just go onto the back end like Better Code Dev. And I actually did a tutorial on this, by the way, that quite a few people have watched on YouTube. But you can go and mint directly, and it's got nothing. It's not tied down by anything other than the existence of Tezos. So as long as Tezos is there, you can keep minting, and you can always view your artwork as well, and it will still exist. Obviously, the marketplace will be needed for the exchange and the selling and things like that. Not for the exchange, actually, for the selling, because you can obviously send in other ways. But for the selling, as far as I know, you'd need a marketplace. But in terms of the just longevity of your artwork, it will exist forever as long as Tezos is there.
Yeah, thanks for the careful explanation, man. Really appreciate you, and really appreciate the alpha, the information that you are sharing, because I heard about zero contract, but it came like I passed by because I don't remember like it's maybe maybe the explanation of the person who were explaining was not clear or catchy, but now it's a really interesting thing to think about, to consider mint on with, and all the stuff that is related to it. We have HP and Mazi then with hand raised. HP, GM, you have anything to add here to the conversation? Welcome.
Yeah, I just want to be a little more just like a laundry list for PX Alien. Just what are the different places? If you wanted to just look, I mean, you should have object, you should have FX hash, you should have 8 Badu, you should have subject, you should have reject, and you should have Rarible for Etherlink. And I think unless I'm missing some, I think that will take you a good long way. So maybe somebody who's closer to a computer can just reply with the URLs to those places. I mean, also saints.app. Saints.app is good too. You can just browse artists and you might be able to access their artwork through special like Patreon like rewards. So I mean, a lot of these things, just like what Manny is talking about, a lot of these things were built by the community. People in the community saw a need and pulled the teams together to build these things. And yeah, so I would just recommend all those: Abadu, FX hash, object, subject, Taya, reject, Saints.app, and then Rarible for Etherlink. I think if you're Alien PX, you want to just have like your fingers in a lot of pies on Tezos, that's a good place to start. So that's all I wanted to say. Just wanted to answer the question in kind of like a laundry list fashion. But I also enjoyed what Retro was sharing. I think the fully on chain art is a really cool idea.
Thank you, man. Thank you, HP.
You're so welcome.
Mazi, GM.
So, anyways, I didn't quite catch, but yeah, I know PX Alien, and I'm sure he did quite a bit of research of everything, that he's doing, and I mean, I have to admit I'm not that familiar with the Tezos ecosystem. I'm more all over the place, trying to help the art and NFT community as much as I can. But from what I see in this moment, since you really can't trust marketplaces that much, it's really important to own your contract. As they say, own your crypto, own your keys. I think the ownership part, as much as web3 blockchain, the ownership promotion is been here since the blockchain, but now it's like the emphasized more and more the ownership part, because we've seen what happened with a lot of marketplaces like Maker's Place and stuff like that. So ownership of your contract is number one. And I would say, I'm sure that PX Alien knows this much more than I do, to get in touch with marketplaces. You'd be surprised how approachable they are when they're running out of money, and they do, most of them. So approach the marketplaces, tell them your story, ask them for help, especially with the marketing part and stuff like that. And it can go a long way. So that's my take. But unfortunately, I will have to leave the space.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for the perspective, and thank you guys for highlighting this important thing, that you have to own your contracts, your smart contracts, and you have to pay attention to it. On object, you can do so via zero contract, and I'm not sure. I think that on Ethereum you can do that via manifold. Maybe on some other chains, no idea how exactly it work, but I believe that there are some tools.
Sorry, some like transient labs and manifold are my favorites.
Yeah, dope. Is Transient Labs working on Solana as well?
I'm not sure. To be honest. But
Okay, but it's definitely for
yeah,
ETH, right?
definitely check it out. Both of them.
Yeah, nice. So I'm pinning Tezos marketplaces on top of the space. I believe that I lost one that HP just mentioned, but HP, you can, if you're still here, you can add it as a comment under my tweet. Anyways, we started discussing what is Tez Dev. Tez Dev is the main conference for Tezos people in the world. I believe so. Tezos, Retro, sorry. Is there any uh, bigger conference for Tezos folks, or the Tez Dev is the biggest one?
I'm sorry, I honestly don't know. I really don't know.
All right. No, that doesn't matter. But um, I believe it is. I believe that Tez Dev is the biggest conference, and it's the catalyst. Is the catalyst of the Tezos ecosystem of Tezos people and artists and everybody, not just our community, but everyone. So let me quickly go through the agenda. What they got. So they will have like a lot of things to discuss. So it will be actually the 3rd July. So yeah, it's like a few days from now. We will be having Etherlink Hackathon. We will be having then scaling Etherlink without compromise. Yeah, those are panels like risk 5 of the future of on-chain off-chain compute is too hard to me to understand. What is that? An interesting discussion. RWA tokenization. Also, we have how to build a DeFi ecosystem on Etherlink. The state of Tezos X, which is very important. Arthur Brightman will be performing and letting us know what is that and where we are all going. Fireside chat with Arthur, Etherlink Gaming, Art on Tezos, which will be huge, a huge panel at 4 p.m. with Alexandra Ganbrew, Timothy McAllister, co-founder of Object, and Brian McAllister, his brother, and also co-founder of Object. And also we will be having at 4:30 p.m. 5x5 artists curating artists and object showcase. I think that we have to find a related tweet to that because this event looks damn fire. So, Ion, you back? Did we miss anything, or we can wrap up the space for today? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, a few points. One is the zero contract is a very, very cool thing, and I will be looking to mint on that as one of these things that, like, I think everyone should try it once, and kind of get involved, regardless of whether or not you're an artist. I think, just technologically speaking, it's a very cool thing to have. Um, and for Tez Dev, it is indeed our biggest event in terms of like worldwide presence. We're basically, and I say we very lightly here because Tezos is not an entity, but Tezos is present at so many different events across the world, right? And I'm sure you've been to at least one. But on that note, this is the one that's kind of like our keynote space, right? Like this is the event that has the word Tez in it, and we have practically a lot of the different verticals that we cover in this ecosystem are going to be showcased there. So we have uranium, obviously, like you mentioned. We have art, we have baking, we have Arthur, talking about Tezos in general. There's so many different factors to it, and it's almost like the best place to be. Where if you don't know anything about one specific part in the ecosystem, that's the place to be. And there's going to be at least, yeah, like 60 plus employees within the ecosystem that are going to be there, which means if you ever have a question, this is like the best time to ask it to anyone. And it will be fun. There will be a bunch of side events. There will be a few cool things to do, and there is some insane merch. So if you're around, like, definitely a no-brainer. And also, if I see you there, coffee's on me. So yeah, if you guys were debating whether or not you should go, or kind of what you have in mind for that trip, then yeah, shoot me a text. I'll sort some stuff out on my side, and we will grab probably 7 coffees in a row because it's going to be a long day.
Retro, are you coming, by the way, to the Test Dev?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be at ECC for a few days, and then I am there for Tez Dev. I'm gonna help set up, and then I'm gonna be there the entire day. So from the 29th, I believe, is when I travel of this month, and I will be back on the 4th. So anywhere within that time frame, if you're free and I'm free, you know, whoever it is, for whatever it is, let's just meet up, have a chat, have one of these spaces in real life, and yeah, drink some coffees, man.
I will be there. I will be there. So yeah, I will be there at July 2nd. So we will meet you 100%. But yeah, retro. Will you be there?
No, sorry, I won't be. Also very expensive to travel, so no, unfortunately.
Man, the prices of flights have been like insanely going up, man. It's like a very big problem as someone who frequently goes back home to Dubai, man. Like the prices just keep fucking going up. It's it's genuinely unacceptable. But like even to France, if you're based in the UK, it's it used to be like under under £100 to go. But yeah, like the prices I'm looking at now, man, it's like 500 to get a return ticket, and I pay 700 to go to Dubai. You know, it's not really, it's really not worth.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not worth
crazy.
it. It's
It's
not worth it.
everything. I mean, I don't know how long you've been in the UK, but yeah, everything feels like it's going crazy here. You said Dubai. I have been seriously considering Dubai as a place, but with kids in school and things like that, it's a difficulty. But yeah, I've got a few people who are in Dubai, friends and family who are in Dubai, and they keep saying, "Why don't you just come here?" Especially for crypto.
Honestly, man, it's a very, very good idea. I mean, in terms of just, yeah, in terms of tax, plus the cost of living in the UK in general has been going up like insanely anyway. And people's main problem with Dubai is like, oh, it costs too much to live there. Realistically speaking, as someone who's grown up there, it's one of those where London is expensive to live in, 100%. But if you're living in the right area and you're like, you're aware of where to get the stuff that you need, then it's not necessarily the most expensive. Like you can't be a tourist if you're living there. And obviously the tax situation there is incredible, especially on income and crypto in general. Like you're not, yeah, 0% tax is enough to cover a lot of the headaches. But on the
Yeah, over
it's
over
not.
here in the UK, they just don't know what they're doing with crypto at all. So it's from what I can tell, I might be wrong, but from what I can tell, is they just want to take all of your money.
Man, they don't know how to
That's
tax
what
it.
I
Man.
see.
They don't know how to tax it, but they expect you to know how to pay the taxes. Like,
Oh, but do you know that they've got do you know about what's happening in January, right, in the UK?
no, no, please, please. Yeah.
So with the tax man, apparently, do your own research and everything, but they are going to now know if you've ever put any money into an exchange and sent it to any wallet, but from January 26th, they're going to be able to track that dating back 4 years and tax you on it.
Oh, yeah. We're yeah. Let's chat about Dubai, man. Let's get out
Yeah,
of
do
here.
you see what I'm saying? Now, I've seen a couple of people who've done quite like tax people on YouTube who've done quite in-depth videos on this. I haven't seen anything directly from HMRC yet, but again, there's accountants on crypto accountants on YouTube from the UK who've been creating content on this and building up to it. So if you are in the UK, I would suggest looking into it. And also, it did make me wonder about, because obviously there's a few crypto kind of organizations that are based in the UK at the moment. Tezos, well, Trilitech being one of them, I guess, and I think Zibek has got offices here. So I don't know what that means for them.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few people that when I was at Token in Dubai, they were mentioning, yeah, like, have you guys ever considered opening an entity here? And it wasn't something that was rejected whatsoever. Like, it's a very good idea, and I think especially now with governmental adoption and kind of more institutionalized use of crypto. I don't see why this wouldn't happen. Not just for Tezos, but in general. Like we're gonna see a lot of pivoting. But fun, funny little note on that. What I've seen mostly at Token is like a bunch of these crypto companies and kind of entities are based in Switzerland, which I didn't know was like, you know, kind of a big thing within the crypto world. But yeah, man, the tax situation is fucked. Like you get an airdrop, you get taxed on it twice. One as is it's like it's income, and then the second one is when you sell these tokens as capital gains. So we can definitely set up the next space to talk just strictly about tax and how to survive that. I'm not saying tax evasion. I'm just saying like kind of a rant session for us to talk through it. But it's all fucked, man. Everything's on fire there.
But yeah,
One of the workarounds that I'm just going to leave it on this note, but one of the workarounds I think is that's the benefit of being an artist, because you don't go through an exchange to earn crypto. So if it's Tezos, for instance, but the problem is that if you've then in the UK, if you funded that same wallet through an exchange as well, then they know about it. But if you don't, then it's there's no KYC on your wallet, right? So you've made a wallet, you become an artist, you're an object, nobody knows about that wallet that is attached to you. But the moment you fund it through an exchange, that is KYC, obviously, like Coinbase, for instance, then you're kind of screwed. So, yeah, I think a space on this would be really good, and I also think a space on. I mean, I am very much in tune with what's happening in crypto a lot, even though I'm obviously an artist and I spend most of my time making art and selling it. But it would be good to kind of see what Tezos's angle is, because I really don't see anyone at the moment, maybe a handful of people talking about Tezos at the moment, other than in our circles. So it'd be interesting to see how that's going to grow and how that's going to kind of get more adoption from a wider crypto circle. You obviously know more than me, but just my observations.
Yeah, I think this would be a very good topic for the next space, like just the kind of geographical and also the tax situations. I think that's a great one. I will have to jump very quickly, Amir, so you're gonna have to give me the outro of a lifetime. I have a call that started a minute ago, so yeah, give us the outro. I'll give you my part. Thank you guys so much for this. This was a great space. I mean, we spoke about like 17 different things, and we will have a more kind of a more strict schedule when it comes to these. It's been a super hectic week on my side, so we're just like throwing in spaces in any gaps we have. But yeah, thanks again for your time, and I'll throw it over to Amir, and we will chat soon.
thank you so much for being a part of this and a super important part of this. Don't forget to drop Ion a follow because this guy is a real problem solver in the Tesla space. This is the guy to trust. This is the guy to ask. This is the guy to stay in contact with. Thank you, Retro. Thank you, everyone, for joining the space. Yeah, our spaces now are pretty random scheduled. So please drop us a follow and stay tuned to our updates for more spaces. Please don't forget to join as a speakers if you have anything to add. You're welcome. If you want just go and listen, please also feel free. Ask your questions in the comments. We will be answering them. And yeah, please keep on creating, keep on building, keep on enjoying life in that space. And of course, don't forget to touch the grass. So yeah, see you soon. And yeah, stay tuned to our updates. We have a lot of exciting things, and we are here to entertain you, to educate you, and to support you with highlighting your art, collecting your art. We are all the way down here. I mean, we're down to do that all the way. So yeah, thank you so much for being here with us. It was a great space. We're always happy to see you all, guys. Thank you, guys. See you soon, and have a nice one and weekend. Bye bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Art Chains podcast. If you enjoyed it, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and share the episode with your friends. It was me, your host, Amir, along with our amazing guests. Don't forget to listen to the Art Chains podcast on all streaming platforms. And thank you for being a creator.